Went out last night to drink a little round. I met little Sadie and I shot her down. I went back home and went by my bed with a 44 smokeless under my head. I woke up next morning about 9:30, and gents and the gamblers are standing in line. A horse and a buggy just waiting around to take little Sadie to the burial ground. Well, I got to thinking about the deed I'd done. I grabbed my hat and away I'd run. I had a good run, but a little too slow, and they caught me down by Jericho. Well, I was standing on the corner just ringing a bell when up came the sheriff from Thomasville. He said, "Young boy, is your name Brown? Do you remember the night you shot Sadie down?" I said, "Yes, sir, my name is Lee, and I murdered little Sadie in the first degree in the second degree. No, if you got it in the papers, just read with me." Well, they took me on a train all dressed in black, rode me right there on that track. Had to spend the night in the county jail, and I didn't have no one to go my bail. Well, the judge and the jury, they took their stand. The judge had the papers in his left hand. 44 days and 44 nights, 44 years to wear the ball and stripes. Well, that's Little Sadie. I'll just say a little bit about it. That's an old American song. It's one of those ones that kind of goes back to 1922, which is a date you'll notice on a lot of all those old traditional songs. And what that usually means is that's when someone recorded it or published it for the first time. And it's got a bunch of different versions. It's a horrible song, really. It's a murder song. One of many murder songs, I guess, like Frankie and Johnny or so many of those. But it's a young man. I guess the name would be Lee Brown to go by the lyrics. And he murders little Sadie and then tries to flee and doesn't make it. The song has a bunch of different versions, including one I'm going to call Coca Blues. It's actually a reference to the illicit white powder substance that Eric Clapton and so many have sang about. But it's really, I don't know why but they say that it's a related song, but it's let me just... Here comes my baby, dressed in white. You know she's gonna be up all night. I won't running around my brain. But that's a song, and actually, that's a good finger-picking song, and it's been done by a ton of people, Johnny Cash. But since it's of what it's about, I don't sing it that often just because... It's a good one. I guess it's related to the song Little Sadie, but of course when I hear Little Sadie, I always think of the Doc Watson version, but Tony Rice did it and a bunch of artists and so many different versions of it and different, it's one of those songs of death and murder. I guess there's so many. Isn't Barbara Allen just all the songs, I could start naming them. I'd have to think about it, but it's a good one for sure. Little Sadie. And it's a good flat picker too. It's in D minor. I haven't played it in a long time, but it goes kind of like this. That all builds off the D minor chord. You can kind of get a nice... I'll play here. have another lead person. It's good. You can do those slides. Hit a B flat every once in a while. So, but it's a good one to play if you have a band or something, and it's a good one to just kind of do a cappella. I tend to do them really simply when I'm by myself, but if you have a little band or something, it's a good one that people can take solos on. Horrible lyrics, but I guess it tells a story. It didn't sound too remorseful, did he? When the sheriff said, "Are you Lee Brown? And do you remember the night you sat Sadie down?" And he said, "Yes, that's me. And I murdered little Sadie in the first degree, and the second degree. Now, if you've got any papers, just read them to me." Didn't sound too remorseful, did he? And then at the end, of course, justice, as one would always hope in these songs, justice has its due course. And we read that he's going to spend 45 years in prison. So I think one of the other names of the song is Penitentiary Blues. But so many good songs like that. They're really old. I think they show a side of life in America that gets overlooked, with some of our versions of the past, and unseemly and unsavory sometimes, but it's a pretty damn good song, and it's been around a long time. Thanks. God bless.